Well, as I said, if you walk into the Jason Show office at 6:45 Monday mornings, you'll hear Jeff and Ted, producer Ted, talking about one show, and it's not ours. 90 Day Fiance. Well, our next guest, it's featured on the new season of the spinoff Before the 90 Days. And if you're here locally or Philadelphia, you may recognize her. Look.
7 years of talking about this moment. Nicola is the love of my life, but he is so different from anyone else I have ever been with. Oh my gosh, Nicola. He is a 46-year-old virgin.
I know how women operate. I know everything.
Yep.
I gotta say.
Oh, this is going to be so much fun. Give it up for Meisha Johnson, everyone. Hi, Meisha.
Hi, honey.
Okay. I don't really need a card for you.
Where are you going to start?
Well, okay, let's start here because let's start how you're connected to here. Let's start there so people have a background of why I kept saying that we know you.
Yeah. Okay, so born, raised here, obviously, and then I actually was a fill-in traffic reporter here at Fox.
Yeah.
This was almost, I know, I loved it. I love it. I have so many great memories, so I was so excited to come back. Just, I never, ever would have imagined it would have been on these terms. Totally different.
Well, and let me brag on you for a little bit. So Meisha's being very humble, but this is market 13, 14, depending on the year. But Meisha, again, was a fill-in. And somebody in Philadelphia, some bigwigs in Philadelphia, which is a top 5 market, thought that knew that she was a star and said, you need to come to Philadelphia, right? And then you went to Philadelphia and tell the folks, now you're not in the TV business anymore because something quite extraordinary happened to you.
It did. And you know, I had what they would call a conversion experience, a massive spiritual awakening in my living room. Now this happened before I ever went out to Philadelphia. But it planted such a big seed in me, and my worldview was completely shifted. My heart was seared. So while I was working in television, which was a comfort zone for me, and that's what I had always done since moving back from Sweden. I went to the U studied journalism, all that. So it was a comfort zone, but now all of a sudden I was seeing everything so differently. And when I went out to Philadelphia, I was still working in television, loved it. It was amazing, again, in my comfort zone, but I had this massive nudge that what happened to me, I needed to study academically. So ultimately, after my first contract in Philadelphia, I said, no, I'm gonna go back to the Midwest and I'm gonna go back to school and study sacred theology as my master's. Now I'm in my PhD, but at the point it was, I knew I had to go deeper. So that's where that shift was, and that's why I'm back here.
And then because of that, you had friends that were like, bye, you had family, right? And you felt a little isolated. Is that, so I know there's a long period of time, but take us to what prompted you to do 90 Day?
I know, like it's like I knew that question was coming and it's such a hard one to answer. Well, let's just say, I mean, and you know, people are probably gonna roll their eyes when I say this, but I really have to say it's a God thing because I would never, ever have imagined that leaving television, going to pursue academic theological work, and changing vocations in its entirety would lead me then to a reality show. Okay, and I mean, like under the weirdest pretenses, like it's not even like a normal following journey.
And I'm not judging, I think this is extraordinary.
No, it is totally bizarre. So I feel like now my two worlds have completely collided in the weirdest way.
Because let me tell you from us, this is what happened. So I'm not joking. Ted and Jeff love this damn show so much, and they talk about it.
That is so
and
great.
I came into the office one day, and let me pause. So one side story to another side story, and I do mean this. I joke about this a lot. I've been in this building since 2000. I've seen a lot of good people come. I've seen a lot of good people go. I've also seen a lot of morons and a lot of just horrible people. Horrible people.
Wow.
However, I'm not just blowing smoke. you have such a reputation here that even though you were a fill-in, just like I don't want to say just a fill-in, but you weren't a current member of the staff. You left such a heartprint on our staff. People still love you. You were so kind, right? Jeff knows this. So, okay. So I can't
come here to cry.
No, but
on the show.
No, I do, Meisha. I do mean it though. And when I was in high school, all the pretty people were mean to me. So I'm just saying, sweetie. So when pretty people are nice to me, I just really accept it. But so we're in the office, and Jeff turns his chair around. He goes, "We're gonna roll the trailer on the show today for before 90 Day." He goes, gosh. "Do you know who's in the cast?" And I went, "No." He goes, "Meisha." And now it's a Monday.
Yes.
I am still thinking about the weekend with Hannah and Jim. You know what I mean? And I go, "Meisha?" And he goes, "Meisha." And I go, "No." And we watch the trailer.
What were you thinking, right?
Oh my God. Yeah.
I bet.
I thought, oh my God. And the second thing was, when can we book her? Like, when can we get her on the show?
I'm sure.
So we have like a minute left in this segment. So give me the Reader's Digest. Were you scared? So I brought you up to where we are. What made you press that enter button to submit yourself?
Well, I was submitted by a family member.
Oh!
Yeah, and because they knew Nicola and I had been talking for so many years, and they were like, "This is so you, and it's your comfort zone." And I was like, I guess I would share that journey. Maybe it could help someone. Nothing's perfect. Maybe it'll actually really do some good. So I never, ever thought that we would actually get a phone call, and then I wrestled with it. I wrestled with it for a little while.
It was a hard decision for you?
It was a very hard decision, yes.
How long did it take you how many phone calls from TLC did it take?
I'll just say many. There were many phone calls that had to take place because I had always been in the public sphere with media, but as a professional, this was taking you into a very personal space that's very weird.
Part 2 of Meisha's journey when we return. Back in a moment. Oh, God. I'm not joking. That day. Welcome back. More with our buddy, Meisha Johnson. Okay, so you're now on TLC, so we're up to that point. But I want to back up a little bit. People may have seen from the trailer, putting this mildly, you and Nicola are very different.
We are.
You
did a very gracious job there.
I mean,
appreciate you.
It's like Paula Abdul's Opposites Attract song. I mean, yeah.
Okay.
So tell the folks a little bit about Nicola, some bullet points.
I still know where you're going with this. Okay, so Nicola is a 46-year-old virgin.
Yeah.
He is a Byzantine Rite Palestinian who lives in Israel. He lives with his mother. He's not working, but he does work on a Catholic website. He's very, very devoted to his faith, which is actually the catalyst of how we ever began talking.
Which is lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it is.
I love you so much.
No, I love that what merged our connection together was him saying, "I see what you're doing and I love what you're doing because your heart's being pulled in a really beautiful place." That started a friendship. And that friendship, he became one of my favorite people.
Yeah.
And then I never, though, would have imagined that would have turned into me loving him.
And because, obviously we don't believe in spoilers. We can't. I don't want to get Meisha in trouble. I don't want TLC mad at me. So let me ask this and answer it however you want. I've always thought, and we talk about housewives a lot, and I always say, housewives will shred a relationship because there's that pressure to be dramatic, and whether it's a marriage or a friendship, being on these shows I think is really hard for a relationship, let alone a new relationship. Did the cameras in the show put more, were you surprised at the amount of pressure the show put on this kind of newborn relationship?
What I can say is certainly it does add an element. I mean, anytime you have something fragile to begin with and then you add any hot water on that, it's always gonna be really tense. And then you're also dealing with very candid, intimate embarrassing moments.
Huh?
And that's not just a private conversation in a bedroom. So you have all these dynamics going on, and it can make for a very emotional situation.
What was your family's reaction?
Well, what part of it? There's so many layers.
The show.
Okay, so I think that's threefold. I think on the one end, they were like, okay, media, I can kind of get it, because that's all she had ever done. But that had always been a very professional persona, no private life. No one knew anything about my private life ever. In all my years, 15 plus years of working in television, no one had ever known anything about Meisha personally.
Yeah.
That shocked them. That shocked them. And I think
That you would do this.
that I would share something so awkward.
Yeah.
Like, and bring them into where they knew, okay, everybody that you've ever known is going to see this. They're going to be going into your private living room. But, you know, I think that in the reality of life and how life is so not perfect, there was a part of me that said, I'm at a certain age now where I'm just way more confident and comfortable with who I am in life, so being not perfect, that I finally got to the point where I was like, maybe it'll be good for somebody. So they know that the persona that they've always seen of someone in media is so not perfect, and love is so not perfect.
Yeah.
And so I really thought if it touches one in a good way, it's
worth
maybe
it.
worth it. Yeah.
On the lighter side, and I hope you don't mind that I noticed that I'm going to say this, that I noticed, is it hard for you to watch? Because I noticed even during the little clip, you were like this, oh God, I can't listen to it, just like you. Are you just sick of seeing it, or is it just, because like I don't watch this show back a lot unless I, you know, but it's just hard, you know?
It is. Number one, I've never liked watching myself in all the years in television.
Yeah.
You know what I mean by that?
I know exactly what you mean.
And it's weird because people go, oh, but did you watch it? You did this thing. And it's like, no, I would never watch that. That's like so gross. But then,
because you see all your flaws. You notice,
And you don't want that on your mind and your heart. Like, life's hard enough. You don't need all that. So it's not so much that. It's more when there's so much emotion attached to everything that the viewer's seeing. There's so much around that on so many levels, here and in the heart, and then all the other stuff that goes with it. So I think for me, it was just, it's just hard to watch because I know there's so much emotion there.
And there's so much more to come, right?
Oh, you have no idea.
That's how Meisha ended her email to me like that. She's like, you have no idea.
No, like we have not even scratched a surface. That's why maybe I'm kind of like not looking.
Because you know the ride that we are getting ready to go on.
I know everything.
Yeah. And let me tell you, I always like to pull the curtain back for y'all. I wasn't kidding, and Meisha can back me up, and the studio audience. Producer Ted, who should be chained to the control room right now, in that commercial break, ran out here to talk to Meisha.
Okay,
yeah.
I love him so much.
I know.
I love him.
Okay, will you come back at the end when you can talk about everything?
You know I will. You know I will.
Give it up for Meisha, everybody. 90 Day Fiance Before the 90 airs Sunday on TLC. I Love You Too is available on Max. We'll be right back. Back in a moment. Give me a hug. I love you.
So much. Thank you for doing this.